Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing tonight? I hope you've had a better week than I have. This is Jewelry Jelly. I'm here with Ashley. And let's get this game into the right window, first of all. There we go. Hey, Private Maverick, how's it going? So this week has not been a very good week for me. Unfortunately, got some bad news on Monday, so that's why I wasn't streaming. And to be honest, any week where a dog peeing on you is not the worst thing to happen to you that week is a bad week. So, alright, we are continuing with Chapter 3 of Nina Aquila. And what have we been up to? I believe we needed to head back to the office. Nope. I believe we needed to head back up to the mountains. Nina, Dylan. I've been looking for you guys. Yeah, we just went to get some food. Something's going on up at the spire. Are you guys heading up there now? About to, yeah. Great. Mind if I ride up with you? Yeah, no problem. Hop in. So yeah, in the previous chapter, we went to the Great Wave Kaiten Sushi restaurant and ended up meeting with Chad, the prosecutor. I can't remember his last name for the life of me. And it looks like somebody is coming up behind them. Oh my! What is that? That was Ryoko. You're absolutely certain? Believe me, I can tell. Every racer on the Spire has a way of driving. Call it their own unique style. It's unmistakable. Imitating someone else's style would be like copying their whole personality. Is it really that deep? It's just street racing. I didn't understand it either until I got out on the asphalt. I think discovering this is like a shared journey we all take. That's what makes the Rostro racers like a family. Puts in perspective why you can't accept that the Aces could be guilty. Yeah, I can't believe that the Aces would try to kill Clara simply to win. Because to an ace of the Rostro racers, it's not about winning. It's not? No, it's about something only true racers really understand. The truth that lurks in the heart of the drift. We have now gained the heart of the drift. Is it like the friends that we made along the way? I might start by grabbing one of those hot dogs. Didn't seem to care. I can't believe you'd... Are you accusing me? Because if you are, then own it or stow it. But maybe I should check that out first. That looks ugly. Let's see what's going on. This bickering is futile. We shouldn't allow ourselves to... Oh, can it, Lance? Can you even see what's going on from under that mask? Hey, leave him alone. I agree. Huh, no surprises there. What? Always the peacemaker, aren't you, Trey? Once again, I fail to understand why people have cat ears in this game. I mean, it was understandable during the casino chapter because it was an anime/gaming convention, but here? Always trying to broker the deal. Well, it's not happening this time. That's rich, coming from the hearts. This all happened because Hank wanted to try and... You want to go, coiffed boy? Back up before you hurt yourself. Pff, forget it. Come on, guys. Come on, see us when you're ready to apologize. Same goes for you. Not gonna happen. I find all your attitudes quite distasteful. I'm sorry you guys had to see that. Like a family, huh? Yeah. Does your family get along all the time? I'm an orphan, if you must know. People are just tense. You know about the 1981 incident, right? I know someone died in a race. Not just that. It brought down the then Joker. They say he left the racing scene never to return again. Almost killed racing on the Spire. And people are worried that'll happen again? I guess. Anyway, I'm gonna head over to the Diamonds area and talk to the guys. See if I turn up anything useful. See you later. Nina. Something's eating at these people. Well, yeah, someone died, their leaders are in custody, and Ren just said... More than that. If these people really are like a family, a loss like Clara should have caused at least some of them to draw together. Instead, it's driven a wedge between them. I think there's something stirring up this kind of animosity. I guess we'll just have to ask them and find out. Let's talk to the kings of all 4 teams and see where we get. And maybe that janitor guy, too. Okay, so, just wanted to let y'all know about my schedule for the next couple days. So tomorrow night, since it is the release date for Pokemon Violet, I will be playing that tomorrow evening for a couple hours. And then on Saturday night, I'm going to be restarting the buffet with a new game that I just received called Lemon Cake. So it looks like there's still a line in front of the hot dog stand, but let's go talk to the main members of the racing teams. Ms. Aquila, Nina, right? You look a little outnumbered. Yeah, it's felt like that for a few nights. I guess it can't be helped. Shikato wa nai. Can't be helped. Yeah, the Jack and Queen of Spades are on vacation right now. They took their cars and went to Gunma, Japan for a few weeks. They've been planning the trip for years. What's there? Some great mountain roads, believe me. Also some great onsen by the lake. Onsen, you mean hot springs? Yep, it's a dream holiday for a married street racer couple. I hate to ask, but do they know about Clara? I emailed them, so they know. But I gave them strict instructions not to come straight back. Clara would want them to enjoy their time away. Besides, it's better they don't just see how fragmented we've all become. Ms. Aquila, Nina, right? Okay, so this is just going over it again. Fragmented? With Clara's death looming over us all, everyone's blaming everyone else. I guess it's only natural. Really? And who do you blame? Honestly, I don't really know. That almost makes it worse. In truth, I pity your task. Why? Because you're defending all of the aces at the same time. And surely someone has to be guilty. Personally, I don't think it's quite so simple. Of course. I just wonder what Clara would say if she saw us like this. Ms. Are you holding up okay? I guess I haven't really processed it yet. She was such a big part of the team of the racers. When did you last see her? On the day of the race. I towed her car using my car's tow bar and dropped it off at her place at around 6. She was still home, so she greeted me at the door. What did you talk about? Nothing much. The usual banter, asked her if she was ready for the race, nothing interesting. You say you dropped off Clara's car at her home. Why did you have it in the first place? I always rig up my team's cars on race days. It's like a matter of personal pride. Is it that important? Of course. I'm not just the king of spades. I'm also the team's mechanic. Even the cars the spades drive were built by these 2 hands. You assembled them? Not just from stock parts, either. The spades drive a Mitsuyoda AG88, but no factory in the world assembles this car. It's a custom hybrid of parts from the AG chassis and 88 line. It's a fusion of 2 cars? That's right, it's the best of both with none of the drawbacks. They must be quite unique. I mean, a lot of street racer groups make hybrid cars like these, but I doubt there are any others within the limits of Fledge City, because only one person here can build them. Excuse me, and that's me. And ours are the only ones I've ever built. That's impressive. I firmly believe that when driven well, these cars are unbeatable in any race. I thought Toge Junken Racing was about style and spirit, not cars. I like to think that it's the best of both. The race on the night Clara died. Did you see any of it? Unfortunately, I arrived slightly late. I saw from a distance that the race had started, so I decided to try and grab a hot dog while everyone was distracted. In fact, I believe that's where we met. He's right, we met in the line. Part of me wishes I could have got there sooner. But I keep telling myself that even if I'd been standing around up here, it wouldn't have made a difference. Okay, thanks for talking to us, Trey. Anytime. Try not to judge the others too harshly. We all lost something on that evening. Some handle it better than others. You managed to find out what's going on? Not yet. Everyone's super tense. I thought it might be better to give them a little time to chill before I start poking around. You spoke to all four of the kings yet? Not yet. About the argument, talk to the king if you want to hear about that. While Keisuke's in custody, he takes care of that stuff. Sounds like the teams aren't on the best terms right now. You use all your powers of deduction to work that out? No. Look, I'm trying to help. And I'm trying to keep my team together. I don't have time for some outsider who's working for all sides. Hey! It was your team member who asked me to help in the first place. Yeah, in court, not up here. What's with these people? Hey, so... In Siberia, we have saying, chatterbox is treasure to spy. Chatterbox? You mean loose lips sink ship? You mean loose lips sink ships? Da. I have no words for likes of you. You seriously think I want to talk to you? Maybe. It's been a while. Not long enough. Isn't that a bit much? Mind your own business, Goggle Boy. Hey! Let it go, Dylan. That sounded like a hell of an argument. What do you care? Oh, I'm sorry, we haven't really met. I'm Nina Aquila. I know who you are. You do? You're representing the aces in court. In that case, look, this is a Rostro Racers thing. It doesn't concern an outsider like yourself. I've got nothing to say to you. Even if it could help Hank in court? I doubt it. Rude. So, that looked like a real fallout. You think the others will come around eventually? This guy's like a sphinx. No idea what he's thinking, but he doesn't want to talk. Hey, so... Beat it, Cyclops. You're nowhere near metal enough to take up my time. Rude. Hey. Hey yourself. Can you believe this? It's crazy, right? Yeah, it's getting warmer every day. Really unseasonal. Oh, I thought you were talking about the argument earlier. Oh, that? That's team stuff, not really your business. At least she's polite about it. Hi there. Nina, wasn't it? That's right. Did you see that argument earlier? Kinda hard to miss it. What do you make of it? Makes me sad to see what losing Clara has reduced them to. Okay, I just realized something. What if this dude was the racer that disappeared after the 1981 incident? I thought they were stronger than this. Think they'll get over it? They're competitive people, so if they don't, I doubt racing up here has a future. Wouldn't that be good for you? Make it easier to keep the place clean? A king with no subjects isn't really a king at all. King? Is that how you see yourself? It's a turn of phrase. Right. This whole thing's a waste of time. Did you find out anything useful? Nope. Whatever's bugging the kings, I think it's something between them and them alone. Doesn't explain why no one else will talk to us. Oh, that's just because you don't have face. Cred. Kudos. Rep. I get it! But if there's no other way they'll consider talking to us? This is impossible. Is it? Yeah. Hey, yeah! Wait. With an oil change? Stop. And a tune-up here and there. Oh. Oh no. You're gonna suggest we go Toge Janken racing? Right. Are you insane? It's the only way, Nina. But seriously, with my car? It's a wreck. There's nothing on four wheels I can't fix. I just need some axle grease, a rag, and a spork. This is happening, isn't it? You just gotta earn a little respect, that's all. But I don't know how to race. And who has time to teach me? I can give you pointers from the passenger seat, but you need to race someone with a vehicle. Isn't there anyone up here who owes you a favor? Ooh, that gives me an idea. Okay, you ready? No. Too bad, let's go. Okay, your first clash. My first what? Focus. You've got to find your driver's spirit, your emotional core, and channel that through the wheel and pedals. You need to try and overpower the other driver's spirit with your own. Wonderful. Could you maybe give a more practical explanation? Fine. This is a clash of spirits. You should focus on one of three emotions. Try to overpower them with your rage, flummox them with your technique, or outrace them with pure self-belief. So that's where the Janken comes from. They'll respond with their own emotions. Rage beats belief, belief beats technique, technique beats rage. Wait, it's like rock, paper, scissors? Yeah, that's the Janken in Toge Janken racing. But then, which emotion do I choose? Don't overthink it, just pick one. And find truth in the heart of the drift. Now what? This is a face-off. You've overcome the other driver's spirit. Now it's time to drive that victory home. What do I do? You've got a choice. You can glare at them or flash them a smolder. They'll come back with the same. You win by picking the opposite to whatever they pick. If you win, you can then either keep going, or confront, which will bank the spirit you've earned. Why would I ever confront if I can keep going and score more? Because if you lose all of the spirit you've gained in the face-off. Risky. Sure, but if you max out the bar, you'll automatically win the next corner, no more clashes. If you think you can do it, it can be worth the risk. Give it a try, just don't get greedy. Time for your first corner. You know how to do a Scandinavian flick? No? Well, let's just cross our fingers and go for it. Flick the wheel to the wrong side to unstick the wheels, then pile on the gas and turn into the corner. See? You're a natural. That actually felt pretty good. Depending on how much spirit you had when you entered the corner, the positions of your car and your opponent's car will change. If you win, you'll move forward, and if you lose, your opponent moves forward. Might seem obvious, but you need to be in front at the end of the race in order to win. I thought Jen might just be coming around to this. I think she likes it. More? Yes, please! What happens if we draw in a clash? Neither of you win, but you gain power points or PP. You can't use power right now, but soon when your own individual racing style starts to emerge, power will allow you to perform special moves. Special moves? For now, though, just know that if you draw, you'll have to try again in the next clash. You're approaching the first of the 4 hairpins. Didn't the aces mention them back at the detention area? I think so. Nina, these are the most challenging parts of the course. 4 corners and quick succession. Doesn't matter how far ahead or behind you are, you can win or lose the whole race in these corners, so be careful. Got it. Nina, I thought you might want to know. You just passed where Clara's car went off the road. Yeah, I noticed. But I'm kind of busy here. That's the final straight. Never forget, Nina, speed on the final straight counts for extra. In the haze as you approach the finish line, you might just come from behind if you give it your all. Got it. Alright, so we managed to win our first street race against, Scrub. Now that you've finished the tutorial race, you can choose which race mode you wish to use. There are 2 modes, Action Racing Mode and Cinematic Racing Mode. In Action Racing Mode, Nina can lose races. You will need to pay attention for clues about how to win each race. Though you can always retry races, there is no penalty for losing. In Cinematic Racing Mode, Nina will never lose a race unless that loss is important for the story. The game's overall story will play out the same way regardless of your choice, so feel free to choose whichever mode appeals to you. Do you want action races that will challenge you or cinematic races that you'll never lose? I'm going to choose cinematic race mode just because of time constraints. You have selected cinematic race mode. While you can still make choices in races, Nina will always cross the finish first in any race she can win. If you lose while using this mode, it means that Nina needs to learn some new skill or acquire more information before retrying that race. Well done! I just gotta go check up on something. Back in a sec. Well, I survived. I think you did great. Gotta admit, it was kind of fun. Thanks, Kaz. Great news. The Queen of Diamonds is going to allow me to borrow her car. Seeing as how I came here with you, my wheels are back in Fludge City. You want a bit more of a challenge? Bring it. That's what I like to hear. Come and speak to me when you're ready to go. Wonder if they'll have anything different to say to me. You ready for a bit more of a challenge? Don't think I'll go easy just because you're a beginner. Let's do this. Okay, so now it's Nina versus Ren. Oh, you can do an auto race. You're good, but I'm no pushover. You have selected Auto Race. In Auto Race, Nina will perform the rest of the race automatically. This feature is useful if you just want to watch the races without having to actually actively participate. It will last until the end of this race. Additionally, Nina is guaranteed to win the race, provided it is possible for her to win. This is useful if you have decided that you don't want the stress of manually winning the race and there is no penalty for using this. Alright, I am going to turn it on. Not bad. You think so? Hey, Time Sage, how's it going? Yeah, I basically went in and did the auto race for this. The guy that she's racing against did a few modifications to her car so that it would be able to race. And by the way, we found out what exactly the Janken in Toge Janken Racing meant. There are three options of going up against your opponent. There's Rage, Technique, and Belief, and they are basically like rock, paper, scissors. Do you feel it yet? The truth in the heart of the drift? Like the car is an extension of your soul? What the? What is it? I saw something by the side of the road. Like what? Sorry, it was too fast. Where are you? Just before the site of Claire's crash. Okay, you focus on the race. I'll try to get down there and have a look around. Looks like he's catching up on her. Oh, the smolder face? Yeah. This is it. Show me your truth, Nina. Alright, so we had our winning of the race. You won. Great race. I've got to admit, this is kind of fun. Nina. Hey, Dylan. About that thing you saw just before the site of Claire's crash? Wait, you're back already? Turns out Terry had a beat-up moped in the back of his truck, so I just borrowed it for a bit. But that's not important right now. The thing you saw, like a bump at the side of the road? Yeah? It's a waylaid wheel from a car, complete with a flat tire. You found that by the side of the track? That's right. It was probably visible because of the thawing snow. It has been a bit warmer these past couple of days. Could this be the wheel that was missing from Clara's crashed car? I don't think so. We found this before the crash site, and the track goes downhill. Before the... What is it, Ren? Though the track is downhill on the whole, the elevation varies. There's actually a dip on the straight before the crash site. So you're saying this could have rolled back up the track? I'm just saying that it's possible. Maybe it came off, struck a tree, and then rolled to where you found it. Okay, alternative history. This might have been whatever Jocelyn struck on the road to cause an impact. Wow, you're right. It really could be. Good thinking, Dylan. The planets align sometimes. You could be right. Can I have a closer look? The bolts look like they've been shorn off in some kind of accident. But something's just not right about this wheel. Like what? I'm not sure. Can I borrow this from you guys? I'll return it. I just want more time to study it. No problem. You're our vehicle expert after all. Now what? I guess we keep racing. If we're going team by team, the Queen of Diamonds would be next. Then let's get to it. Okay, so, are you the Queen of Diamonds? Yep. Hang on. Haven't we met before? I don't think... We have. You were in the line for the hot dog truck a few days ago. You looked concerned about something. What was it? I thought you were going to ask me to race. Gotta warn you though, no one defeats my belief or technique. Powerful belief and technique? That's an oddly specific boast. I'll race anyone who stands in my way. Then I'll make you a deal. If you beat me, then I'll answer your questions. Let's go! Okay, so I'm going to do autoplay for this race as well. And we're gonna talk a little bit. Alright, so, tomorrow I am going to be playing, Pokemon Violet tomorrow evening from 8 until probably around 10 or 11. I am going to be getting the game loaded up and ready tomorrow morning before I start my shift at work, which means I'm going to be part of the 6 a.m. Sprigatito squad. Wow, she's pretty good. You'll find there's a world of difference between a Jack and a Queen. You'll need some fire in your belly if you want to beat me. So anyway, after I played the last installment of Nina Aquila on Saturday, I found out from a friend of mine that there is a kaiten sushi restaurant that is fairly near me. Fairly near as in within an hour's driving distance. She must have a weakness. Has she mentioned anything useful? Something you can use against her? No one can beat my technique or self-belief. So it doesn't look like Nina's gaining ground. You have spirit, but you'll need style to really achieve greatness on the spire. So on Friday it'll be Pokemon, and then on Saturday I am going to be playing Lemon Cake. It is a Switch bakery sim game, and I got it the other day. One of my friends actually recommended it to me, MJD82 did, and I decided to pick it up. I got some money from Amazon and decided to pick it up at a discount, and I've played probably about like half an hour of it so far. You're approaching the first of the 4 hairpins. It's pretty cute. I mean, you operate a bakery that's inhabited by ghosts, and they're friendly ghosts, and you make all sorts of treats and serve them to people and earn money to upgrade your bakery. So it's just fairly cute and simple. And it looks like Nina is actually gaining ground against the Queen of Diamonds. Also, actually, you know what? I just realized I'm going to be away on Saturday night. I won't be able to play on Saturday night because it's an AEW pay-per-view and I'm usually watching them with my friends. So I guess Saturday's stream is canceled. I think probably for the best. So probably next week we will start playing Lemon Cake. But in any case, I will still be playing tomorrow night. We will be starting our journey in Paldea. This is the final straight, Nina. Hang in there. Oh, excuse me. So it looks like Nina has had her second victory. Wow, Ren wasn't kidding. You're really something. I'm just a beginner. Maybe, but you have a strong spirit. Do you mind if I asked you about the other night now? Shoot. You seemed to, I don't know, flinch when it was mentioned that Clara got to the mountain quite late. Well, it's nothing really. Come on, you must have had a reason, no matter how tenuous. Okay, it's really just a tiny thing. Clara has my copy of Dragon Fantasy: The Revenge on DVD. I've seen that movie, it's pretty good. But what does that have to do with anything? I wanted to get it back on the night Clara died, so I tried to call her. I tried multiple times from around 6 through when I left for the mountain at 7:30, but there was no answer. I just assumed she was busy. Not sure what to say about that. Anything we find which can help us build up a picture of Clara's movements might come in handy at some point. Thanks. Don't mention it. Though you'll have to race the King of Diamonds next, and be warned, he's no pushover. Okay, so here's the King of Diamonds. You again. So you're the one that's been rifling through the rest of the dancing diamonds. An outsider like you? Not quite sure how to respond to that, but yes, I beat the Jack and Queen. Useless. He seems angry. Maybe I can goad him. You think you could do better? You're all racing in the same car. Don't you know anything? All of us. I mean, each team chooses a car and we all use the same one. That would have been obvious if you'd been paying attention. It looks like they are gendered titles, yes. At least, nearly all of us. I guess I had noticed, but hadn't really thought about it. Why is that? homologation, or at least that's not the proper word, but it's the term that we use. There are rules, etiquette, but being an outsider, you wouldn't know about that, would you? Outsider or not, I want to know what you guys were arguing about earlier. Not gonna happen. Well then, if you won't listen to me now, maybe you will once I outrank you. Ha! Good one. Enjoy the side of my tail rights. Let's go. So I'm going to put on auto race for this again. It looks like we're probably going to have to go through a lot of races here. I mean, we've got... Yeah, we've got the king and queen and Jack, and we have to... Looks like we have to battle all three of them in order to even talk to them. Well, I don't know, Time Sage, I don't know if you've seen the Queen of Spades, but the Queen of Spades is very gender non-conforming. You still feeling cocky, outsider? What's going on? This guy's tough. I'm totally fired up. Careful you don't burn out. What? Keep up the banter, Nina. I'm not going down without a fight. You sure you haven't been fighting for too long already? Forget it, you'd never understand. Maybe if you explained what's wrong. You'll have to beat me first. Well, it looks like Nina is beginning to gain some ground. You're approaching the first of the 4 hairpins. And she's overtaken him. I can't let an outsider like you win. This is the final straight, Nina. Hang in there. Alright, and Nina has officially defeated the King of Diamonds. I'm just too in my head today. You okay? I'm just worried about Keisuke and the others. I've been a bit of a tool all evening. As someone who has a job where I see a lot of bereavement and worry, you're coping better than some. Just try not to get so personal with your retorts, maybe? I'm sorry. So, the argument? Yeah. It all started a few weeks ago. Keisuke was approached by an anonymous would-be benefactor who wanted to invest in the Dancing Diamonds team. A sponsor. They offered you guys a chance to be a professional motorsport team? That's probably the simplest way of putting it. So what happened? We rejected it, of course. The Dancing Diamonds run free. We're not sellouts. Keisuke took some time to think it over, but in the end, we refused. But ever since then, things have been weird. Weird? Tense, I guess. People have had meetings. Quiet meetings. They say they're not coming out to the Spire one evening like they're going to the gym, but you look online and they're not at the gym. They're with some of the others. It's about trust. That's right. Ever since that damn offer. But this is just our internal drama. Maybe. Maybe not. Nina. Ryoko. Just what do you think you're doing? My job. Don't give me that. Oh, God. Thinking you're a racer just because you learned a thing or two from the diamonds. This is so you. And you don't even realize it. With the what now? Hey, Nina's not... Zip it, goggle boy. You got no lines in this play. Okay, that's enough. I'm only racing because I need to find out more to support the case. Whatever this is, I've got no time for it. You want face, huh? Fine. Go get that jalopy you call a racing car. Then you'll see just out of your depth you are. So it looks like this is another story battle, and we're probably going to have to lose against Ryoko. Okay, we're turning on auto race. Wow. What the? How did she get so far ahead? Confused? You should be. It's confusing when something changes right before your eyes. Wait, does she mean... Oh, there it is again. Is there anything unusual about the corners? Yeah, high-pitched mechanical sound. She must have a turbo on that thing. If she's mastered that... I can barely see you back there, Nina. What are you gonna do? Buy a scarf? Cut your hair? Do you seriously want to bring up that old argument again? We're supposed to be racing. We? There's only one racer on this track, Nina. And it's not you. Oh, she's leaving us in the dust. I knew it. What? You might have beat the diamonds, but the way you drive, it's just a mishmash of their styles. You haven't changed at all. Aww. That is a nice picture of Nina, though. You see what I mean? A racer's spirit is inimitable, like a fingerprint. You're no racer. In fact, You're not even a good Anya Miller. Too far, Ryoko. I can't believe you dredged that up after all this time. You expect me to apologize? Because you'll go home disappointed. Don't drag me into this whole drama you racers have going on. Who told you about that? Was it Hank? I have my sources. As if it matters. Saw that little falling out earlier, did you? Some of the people on this mountain just don't get it. You can't resist change. It's like the tides. Stand against it, and you just get washed away. What? I thought maybe Clara would come around eventually. The Aces brought their argument out onto the track, and now Clara's gone. And mark my words, I'll make them pay for that. Ryoko. Ryoko. I'm not the only one who hasn't changed. That was revealing. I had no idea you were a lesbian. I'm not! Seriously, Dylan? Bye? That's oversimplifying it, but if I just say yes, can we move on from this discussion? I guess I should have realized. I mean, you talk about Anya all the time. Really, Dylan? What did I say? I know you're walking through a bit of a minefield here, but do you have to step on every single mine? Anya and I were close, but not in that way. Oh. So why did you and Ryoko, break up? You've probably seen enough now to work it out for yourself. We only dated for 3 months. About 2 months in, I started working for Miller Defense and Law. It was taking up all of my time. Yep, you totally called it. They're exes. Anya and I were working on my first few cases. It was so exciting. By the way, the person with the mohawk that is right underneath the person with the gas mask, that is the queen of clubs. Was Ryoko jealous? Did she maybe think, no, Ryoko isn't that shallow. But in a way, kinda, she was jealous of my new job, my new life. After a month, it came to a head and we had a huge fight. She said I'd changed, like under Anya's supervision I was becoming a different person. And she didn't like that person. I mean, I've noticed you talk about Anya a lot, like when you're working. Maybe, but isn't that just, I don't know, normal? She taught me so much about how to be a successful attorney. Ryoko asked me to make a choice, but she just couldn't accept that this is who I am. You say that like you were born to be a lawyer. Born? No. Made. By someone who helped me when no one else could. So, you dumped Ryoko? No one dumped anyone. We had an adult conversation where you dumped her. It wasn't like that. Believe me, it's nearly always like that for someone. Huh. Maybe you're right. Nina. Still nothing decisive. What? We found out a lot about the racers and this infighting of theirs, but that kind of makes the Aces look worse, not better. Even so. Everyone's gone home for the night. I'm not sure us freezing to death out here will help the Aces. You're right. Okay, let's get in the car and head back to the office. Nina, do you hear that? What? Sounds like a car. It's a limo. Is that a limo? At this hour? Looks like we're not the only ones still here. Think this might be important? Maybe we can sneak over there. Who could he possibly be meeting? What the? That person. Do I know her? Mr. Gearson. You called me, so I'm here. What do you want? Think she's the person who's offering to make the teams legit? I can't hear what they're saying. Do you want to get closer? Something about her. I don't... Psst, Nina! Sorry, was lost in thought for a second. Closer? Maybe. How could you? You heartless sociopath! Her body's barely cold and... Very well. I can see that now is not the proper time. We will be in touch. Nina, are you okay? I don't know. You look wired. You're practically trembling. He's right. My legs feel like jelly. What's wrong? You look as though you've seen a ghost. What if I told you that I had? Nina, you're kind of freaking me out. Are you okay? No. It's freezing out here. Give me your keys. I'll drive us back to the office. Wow. Who was that person, and why did Nina react to them so badly? Who? When? This is useless. I've got a trial tomorrow. I need to sleep. I just can't figure out who she is. But it feels like I should know. I don't know enough to look her up and can't describe her well enough to ask the police. That's it. Anya said I shouldn't trust them, so I should be careful. But there's someone I can ask when it's an unanswerable question. What did they say last time? Yeah, that was it. I need to use the payphone at the convenience store. Oh, she is going to call Livewire. What was it again? 555-548-39473. They said to prank them. So I guess now I head to the warehouse. Livewire? Are you here? They must be here somewhere. Hello again, Ms. Aquila. I've come to talk. I wondered when I might see you again. I hear you're becoming quite the illegal street racer. Tell me, is it exhilarating? More like terrifying? I assume you are not here to ask about racing tips. No. Some time ago, you allowed me to borrow a crucial piece of evidence to exonerate Terry Scrub. The Black Lily. That's right. When I returned it, you said I could call on you if I ever needed to. Correct. In that case, I have some unanswerable questions. Tonight, up at the Rostro Spire, there was a woman. That is not unusual. Let me finish. This woman, she was talking to the King of Spades about something. Part of me suspects she's related somehow to how the teams have been approached by a wealthy sponsor. She was wearing a bespoke suit, and I think she was Japanese. Why did you come to ask me this? Her mannerisms, her eyes, there was a coldness to them, and when she appeared, it was like I had seen a ghost. You know this person. That's just it. I feel like I do. Your memory of her is dim. It's like a shadow of a memory wrapped in a feeling. In a way, when I picture her face, it's like I can picture her more clearly than anyone else I've ever known. More than Anya, more than Dylan. I guess the closest comparisons I have are the loose memories of my parents. But just as my mind reaches for her, the memory fizzles out. Like ink washing down a drain. I see. I couldn't sleep, so I thought I would ask you about her. I feel you may have asked me a question that only you can answer. Damn. Well, I suppose it was worth a try. But if I am to suggest... Before the game is up, a true master uses every piece on the board. From the lowliest pawn to the mighty queen. Watch for long enough, and perhaps you will identify this piece by its movements. I would be patient. Not quite the answer I was looking for. The prudent moves seldom are. I have some unanswerable questions. Have you been following the events of the Rostro Ace's trial? Of course you have. Nothing in this case makes sense. Clara was behind, then in front, then dead, and the motives to cause her to lose the race are piling up. You are losing sight of the problem, Ms. Aquila. Above the pieces on the board is the hand that moves them. But that hand is connected to the player, and those moves are an extension of their strategy. When a player confronts another, they play. But if the strategy of a player is known beforehand, the game is lost before it has even begun. One of these days, a straight answer would be nice. I have some... Before it has begun? Indeed, the true chess master has a strategy which is flexible and adapts to changing circumstances. You are struggling because I lack the evidence to flip my assumptions. I know. I'm not Anya. She was always better at that. Wrong. What? A novice player may imitate the moves of a grandmaster, but they cannot claim to be a master themselves. Rather, they are just skilled at mimicry. Like some sort of imposter. Very good, Ms. Aquila. An imposter may be very convincing, but even if they take their master's hat and cloak, they'll just look all the more foolish when they are unmasked. You sound just like Ryoko. You're suggesting I'm imitating Anya, and that won't work this time. Is that it? I am simply talking about chess. You know, I came here looking for answers, and you've only given me questions. Then I will leave you with one more. The first move in this particular match. Do you know when it was? The first move. Does he mean the event that started all this? That was Clara's death. I mean, I guess I was nearby. Yes, at least I think so. I was at the Rostro Vista parking lot around the time Clara died. Really? Are you certain? Certain? Well, yeah. The first move. What does that even mean? Alright, so we're getting up in the morning and it's time for the trial. That couch is surprisingly comfortable. It's weird, though. Did you go somewhere last night? Oh, about that. I couldn't sleep, so I went for a walk around the block. Nina, are you okay? Last night, I don't think I've ever seen you so shaken up. It's fine, really. I heard you mumbling in your sleep. Something about whether you think you knew that person. Did you work out who it was? No, but maybe it'll come to me. Either way, we've got a job to do. Okay, but if you want to talk about it. Thanks. You ready for court? Good to go, boss. Let's get to the courthouse. Great, looks like Ren got here on time. Let's meet up with him, then go to the bench. Hi again. You want me on the bench like last time? That'd be great, Ren. Alright, let me try something here. I could get used to this. Wait, is that a cup holder? Hey, you, vacate the judge's bench. Sorry! So what's the plan? The first move. I was about to ask the same. Nina? Hey, Space Cadet! Sorry, I was lost in thought there for a sec. What's the plan? I think... Okay, we need to accept something. We don't know, for certain, how Clara died. Seems like that's stating the obvious. No, not just us three. I'm not sure anyone knows. As far as we're aware, there's no direct evidence which proves a theory. Isn't that bad? Not necessarily. It means that Chad probably doesn't have definitive evidence either. I think I'm starting to get it. Our goal today is to filibuster. We need to be economical. We dispute Chad's witnesses with an aim to securing another day of investigation. Got it? Got it. Okay, boss. Hello again, Miss Aquila. Chad? I've heard you've taken to drifting. Only when the mood suits me. Really? Careful you don't drift right off course. Yeah, well, maybe. How does he always time those barbs just before Tawny walks in? It's like a gift or something. All rise for the Honorable Judge Tawny. Please be seated. We are here to resume the trial of 3 defendants. Keisuke Akagi, also known as the Ace of Diamonds, Hank Castle, also known as the Ace of Hearts, and Jocelyn Montefiore, also known as the Ace of Clubs. These individuals were involved in actions which led to the death of Clara Mass, a wealthy socialite, also known as the Ace of Spades. At the first trial day, it was agreed that the prosecution would yield the charge of murder in the first degree, i.e., the defendants do not stand accused of premeditated murder. However, they remain accused of several offenses, namely, murder by reckless endangerment, involuntary manslaughter, as well as murder in the second degree. Your Honor, to be clear, it is still my personal opinion that one of the defendants is guilty of first-degree murder. However, it's true that 2 days ago, the opposing bench suggested that there was no direct evidence of this. It is, therefore, the opinion of the prosecution that a non-premeditated murder may have taken place. Non-premeditated what? They're saying that the prosecution still believes that Clara was killed on purpose. So maybe the murder was a snap decision in the moment. Ren still doesn't have a chair, those monsters. Yeah, but I think there was one at the beginning of the scene, and then when you zoomed in on it, you don't see it anymore. Much as I rarely agree with him, Chad has good instincts. Why does he still believe a first-degree murder took place? We are choosing to pursue a charge of murder in the second degree on that basis. Regardless, I am confident of one thing. Before the end of today, the defendants will be found guilty of at least one of the charges. I'd like to continue, Ms. Aquila. Please do, Your Honor. Mr. Hawk, please restate the prosecution's case. Immediately. Your Honor, whilst our earlier pieces of evidence did not sway the court, it remains that Clara Mass is dead. As she died during an illegal street race with the 3 defendants, we believe that at least one of these 3 is directly responsible. As we are lacking in direct evidence, we will instead discuss compelling motives for murder, and will do this via witness testimony. Compelling motives, huh? He must have something pretty good. Thank you, Mr. Hawk, for your summary of the case. Bailiff, please bring in the defendants. The three of you are aware of the charges put forth by the prosecution. How do you plead? Not guilty, Your Honor. Not guilty, Your Honor. Not guilty, Your Honor. Mr. Castle, Mr. Akagi, Ms. Montefiore, the court recognizes your plea. Prosecution, bring forth your first witness. Okay, Chad, let's see who you call. The prosecution calls Hank Castle to the stand. Did he just call a defendant as a witness? What is he thinking? Order! Me? Hank? But he's a defendant. Nina, can Chad do that? Yes, he can. Being a defendant doesn't preclude you from being a witness. Still, what's your game, Chad? I refuse. Mr. Castle? You can't simply refuse. You don't have that right. You may take the fifth, in which you do, in fact, refuse to testify under oath. But as judge, I would advise you that this would not look favorably upon your collective case. Your Honor, may I interject? Hank, as your representation, I strongly advise you testify. You can't ask me to stand against the other aces. I can't. I won't. Hank, remember, this is why Nina's here. It'll be okay. You're being asked to testify, not to accuse anyone. Fine. Let's get it over with. Mr. Castle, can you please confirm your name and occupation as a witness? Hank Castle. During the day, I work for a TV production company. Goodness. What sort of television? Well, right now, we're working up a show for one of the streaming networks. It's based on a popular manga, a Japanese comic strip about a girl. They make shows about girls with magical powers, Your Honor. They're aimed at the pre-teamed female demographic. Chad seemed to come out with that pretty quickly. At night, I'm the Ace of Hearts, leader of the Burning Hearts, one of the 4 established racing teams up the Rostra Spire. Would you say, then, that you knew the victim, Clara Mass, quite well? We were friends. All of us were. Mr. Castle, is it not more true that you were rivals? I don't see the distinction. You frequently clashed with each other out on the track. That's different. It's like a conversation between equals. Someone like you wouldn't understand. Cute. I do understand one thing, though, Mr. Castle. As Joker, Clara had the casting vote on all issues concerning the Rostra Racers as a group. Ooh, that brings the whole corporate sponsorship thing into play. That's true. And in that role, there was never any animosity between you? You're digging. Perhaps, but I'm an efficient excavator. There were no disagreements, no bad blood. What do you want me to say? We didn't always see eye to eye, but we'd been friends for years. Don't you ever fall out with any of your friends? Your Honor? Yes, Mr. Hawke. The prosecution would like Mr. Castle to make a statement about this topic. Namely, his relationship with Clara Mass. Of course. Mr. Castle, are you prepared to make a statement on this topic? Fine. Clara was a unique person, dynamic, strong-willed, but fair. She led and we followed. Obviously, we had a rivalry. We were aces of rival teams. Sometimes there was animosity, but it was just the life that we led. Very well, Ms. Aquila, you may begin your cross-examination. Of course, Your Honor. I don't get it. Chad must feel as though Hank has a skeleton in the closet. I've got to assume that it's something to do with the argument we saw yesterday up the mountain. Stand against it and you just get washed away. Hank's not going to like it, but we can only deal with problems when we know about them. I trust Hank. I trust all 3 of the aces. So whatever it is, it can't be as bad as Chad thinks it is. What's he thinking? Dynamic, strong-willed. She knew herself and knew her own mind. Clara might have been wealthy, but her fortune was self-made. Some kind of, I think it was aerospace components. I see. She had a lot of connections to people in and around Fledge City. Businesses, lobbyists, and the like. She was a natural socialite. All very interesting, but I question its relevance. True. Still, a bit of context never hurt anyone. As Joker, she was your leader, correct? Yeah. Clara, as Joker, had the casting vote on everything. We're not a democracy. More a meritocracy. Clara was the best, so she made the decisions and we had to fall into line. That's just the way the Rostro racers have always worked ever since the 80s. I think I'm starting to see why Chad wanted Hank on the witness stand. Do you feel this is important, Ms. Aquila? Yes, I believe it's important. Very well, witness, can you please add this to your statement? Fine. She was Joker. This means she has the casting vote on all decisions. So I am going to check the evidence because we have that information about the sponsorship deal that I believe we have in our list. Telephone 555 sushi place.
Objection?
This piece of evidence clearly refutes the witness's statement. I don't see how that's relevant. It isn't, is it? Ms. Aquila, please refrain from wasting the court's time. I'm going to have to penalize you.
Penalty.
Oh well, I tried.
Hold it.
Sorry, Hank. And as her friend, you were always happy with her actions? I was. I respected her.
Objection!
Leading question, Your Honor. I am forced to agree, Mr. Hawk. Ms. Aquila, you will refrain from phrasing a statement as a question. Also, Mr. Castle, I remind you that you are under oath. Here it comes. We'd had a falling out. We'd been approached by a sponsor, someone who wanted to invest in the Burning Hearts. I can't name them for contractual reasons, but who they are isn't really important. And what happened? Aren't you meant to be on my side? Answer the question, Mr. Castle. Clara, she just got in the way. She was so stubborn. Everyone on the mountain wanted to go legit. It was a chance to realize a dream. It offered us a future. But she had this romantic image of us staying independent, driving just for its own reward. It was infuriating. You couldn't collectively outvote her or something? That's not how it works. She was Joker and she'd made her decision. Meaning that to solve your collective problem, you would need to convince her, defeat her, or remove. Your Honor, that is baseless speculation. I agree. Mr. Hawk, please do not speculate. Apologies, Your Honor, but would it not be reasonable to suggest that this forms a basis for a motive? A motive which could apply universally to all three of the aces? Very well. Witness, can you please add this to your statement? Fine. Everyone on the mountain wanted to go legit. She was just so obstinate. I'm thinking that's where I present the buyout refusal. There we go. Chad? Yes, Aquila? You said earlier that you felt that if Clara had been their obstacle to accepting sponsorship, that this would have been a universal motive for the aces, correct? I did. Why? Mr. Castle. Hank. Yes? You just said that everyone on the mountain wanted to go legit. But is that really true? It's not! Keisuke? But you said that... Time Sage. Oh, speaking of sushi, or rather Japanese food, I recently got udon soup from an Asian place we go to regularly, and it was the worst I've ever eaten. That sucks. Sorry. But you said that... I said that the Diamonds wanted to explore avenues that could make us more legit, but I never agreed to selling out to a corporate sponsor. But the club said... We had no strong feelings either way. We wanted to go with the majority.
Order.
Order. Your Honor, the defense asserts that this is far from a universal motive shared among the aces.
Objection.
Mr. Castle could still have this motive. But we've been over this. Hank's car bore no damage, and there's no evidence he shunted Clara off the road. It was just chicken broth with udon noodles and boiled chicken, beef, and shrimp. Yeah, that sounds like, that sounds like they phoned it in. It's the same for all three of the defendants. We were willing to overlook that for a moment while you proposed a motive that hung upon collusion. But without that, this motive alone is flimsy at best. Mr. Hawke. I must agree with Ms. Aquila in this instance. All three of these individuals were in the race, so if one had acted alone, it is reasonable to consider that the others would have seen this happening. If the possibility of collusion has been called into question, that renders this line of inquiry as null and void. Yes, Your Honor. That seems reasonable. Chad looks almost... He looks like he expected that. Not good. Very well, Your Honor. If this witness can't provide a motive that suggests collusion, then I request that we move on to my next witness, one that has posed a far simpler, more insidious motive. Envy. Is it going to be Ryoko? The prosecution calls. How could you? All of you. How can you just stand there and feign innocence? Yep, Ryoko. Ryoko, I don't want to hear it. We're just as confused as you are. Yeah, I'm sure. Your Honor? And you! I must protest. Willing to defend those murderers. Breathe, Nina. Don't antagonize her. Ryoko, I appreciate that the last few days have been really hard on you. Oh, come off it. You appreciate nothing. Stop pretending you understand how I feel. Fine. The three aces have hired me as their attorney, and I intend to do that job to the utmost of my ability. Even if they're a trio of murderers. This is going nowhere. Your Honor? Yes, Miss Aquila. The defense would like to ask the purpose of calling Ryoko Kamiyama to the stand. Hey! Given that she did not witness the events firsthand, surely anything she has to say is hearsay? Stop it! A fair observation. Mr. Hawke? Your Honor, Ms. Kamiyama has taken the stand as a character witness. She contacted the prosecutor's office of her own volition and insisted she be allowed to testify. Stop talking about me like I'm not standing right here. You three aces, you three losers, you just had to be on top. You had to win by any means. I'm not going to just let the three of you get away with it. Why is it you all went into that race with something to lose? Yet somehow I lost the most. She really is hurting. I can hear it in her voice. Be that as it may. To get these proceedings back on track, please state your name and occupation for the record. I'm Ryoko Kamiyama, also known as the Queen of Hearts. I work as a graphic designer for a small independent firm. And you have been in this street racing group for some time? Over a year. I see. Did you know the victim? Yes. Extremely well. Psst, Nina. You think Ryoko and Clara were dating, right? Why doesn't Ryoko just say that? I know Ryoko enough to know that she's out, but maybe Clara wasn't. Oh, I get it. Ms. Aquila, do you have something to add? No, Your Honor. Ms. Kamiyama, how did you come to be involved on the night in question? I was up the mountain on the night Clara died, just as usual, as part of the Burning Hearts team. In fact, I... Take your time. The race had gone on too long. People started to wonder why. I decided I'd go investigate, but I ran into Trey Gearson, who missed the start of the race. Then Stan Ren, he said that Marco had called the police. Marco was always meddling. I was worried he was trying to disrupt the race to get his perfect photograph. Trey and I decided to drive down the course to see what had happened. We rounded a corner and saw... those three. The defendants? Yes. They were standing over Clara's... Ryoko, over Clara's body. I see. Then what happened? We argued. Trey and I told those three to back off until the police came. That was when I just checked for a pulse. I touched her neck and she was ice cold. Goodness, that soon? It was particularly cold that evening and the body was lying on an icy road. As soon as I touched her, I knew. I knew that they'd done it. I may not know how, but I know why. In that case, Ms. Kamiyama, please make your formal statement. Witness statement. All of you, each of you envied Clara. None of you could hold a candle to her, and deep down you knew it. Hank, you could never match her in the corners. Jocelyn, you could never beat her on the straights. Keisuke, you could never match her shifting skills. You saw a chance to eliminate her. It's just too convenient to be a coincidence. I don't get it. She didn't say anything about Clara's death, at least nothing concrete. How can she testify like that? Chad's already said that she's here as a character witness. It means she's just working off her first-hand knowledge of the people involved. The judge will weigh it up as less than truly relevant evidence. But as our clients are on shaky ground, it might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Thank you, Ms. Kamiyama. Ms. Aquila, please begin your cross-examination. Gladly, Your Honor. Ryoko, I can see you're in pain. Anyone in your position would be. And I can't help but feel that after today, we might never speak again. But I won't let your anger jeopardize my clients' lives. They didn't kill Clara. Can't you see that?
Hold it.
Your Honor? Yes, Ms. Aquila. Are we to take these statements at face value?
Objection!
She's a character witness, Aquila. She still needs to qualify her statements. Otherwise, she could just say anything. Oh, you need receipts? Examples? I've got plenty.
Hold it.
Isn't Hank the ace of hearts? Oh, he's good all right. But Hank's hot-blooded nature was never... You're out of line, Ryoko. Control yourself, Mr. Castle. See what I mean? Clara had immense mental discipline. She was always calm under pressure, which translated to beautiful, smooth cornering. Hank couldn't begin to understand the depth of her skill. Depth her of skill. Jocelyn, you could never beat her on the
Hold
streets.
it.
The rest of the club seemed to respect Jocelyn. Those has-beens, they haven't fielded a joker in years. Jocelyn's a weak person, and that makes her weak on the throttle. How can you just say such awful things? Oh wow, she's practically crying just from that. Clara was the strongest person I've ever known. No speed terrified her. If in doubt, flat out. Jocelyn's driving was a pale imitation at best. Keisuke, you could never match her shifting skills. The other diamonds would disagree with your assessment of Keisuke. That's just it. My assessment, my analysis. There's no formula for a perfect racer. I beg to differ. Oh really, Keisuke? Then how come you weren't Joker? In fact, the more I think about it, you all just treated her as a rival when she thought of you as her friend. And you betrayed her. Do you feel this is important, Ms. Aquila? Yes, I believe it's important. Very well, witness, can you please add this to your statement? No problem. I don't think any of you ever showed her one moment of true friendship. You used her.
Objection.
Ryoko? What? The Aces were never friends? Never. Really? Not for a single moment. Are you certain? Ms. Aquila, is that a photograph? Yes, Your Honor. Taken not so long ago by Marco West. So? Ryoko, do you think the other Aces are good actors? What? That affection in the photo, it looks awfully convincing. What does that have to do with anything? Ryoko, why do you believe that the aces were only pretending to be Clara's friends? Because they wanted to be on top. They all wanted to be Joker, no matter the cost. That's what Toge Junken Racing is all about. Do you feel this is important, Miss Aquila? Yes, I believe it's important. Very well. Witness, can you please add this to your statement? Fine. I wonder if it's the heart of the drift. I'm gonna try it anyway. I was right! Ryoko, you're so wrong. What are you talking about? Every racer wants to win. It's true that every Toge Junken racer would like to be the best, but that's not the real reason why they race. That's right. Racing's about learning about yourself through challenging others. It's about understanding the ultimate emotion. It's about seeing something in others that they don't even see in themselves. It isn't about winning, really. It's about truth. The truth that lies in the heart of the drift. Ugh. You can't seriously... Really? You've only known about Toge Junken Racing for less than a week. Sanctimonious, patronizing, this is so you. Maybe, but... Sorry, Ryoko, but I have to do this. In that time, I've learned a lot. Most importantly, though, the way you describe the attitude of the racers is wrong. Was Toge Junken Racing just a challenge to you? You were so eager to go legit in order to be the best. But Clara was determined to not let the racers sell out. Don't you dare! I'm forced to ask. Are you sure you knew Clara as well as you thought you did? Screw this. Hey, you, prosecutor. Huh? I want to leave. I'm done here. That's crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to dismiss Ms. Kamiyama. Granted. Ms. Kamiyama, you are free to go. Though before you do, you should know that the city offers a variety of options for grief counseling. Not in a million years. Nina? Yeah? This isn't over. Oh, there's gonna be another race between them two, I bet, and they're gonna go up against each other, and Nina will need to defeat Ryoko, and then Ryoko will finally see through to Nina and apologize and accept her girlfriend's death. Yeah, I totally see it. Mr. Hawk, do you have any more witnesses to bring before the court? No, Your Honor. However, the prosecution's charges against the defendants remain the same. Murder in the second degree, murder by reckless endangerment, and involuntary manslaughter. While the opposite bench disputed some aspects of the motives proposed, the facts are indisputable. Clara Mass is dead. A fair observation. Nina, is there anything we can do? Does any of your evidence... Ren? Yeah? Have a little faith. We managed to dispute the motives pretty well. So if we've crushed the charge of second-degree murder, should I push for a mistrial? Chad's wearing his poker face. What's he thinking? Hey, Nina. Now we've disputed these motives for the murder charge. Can't we push to, I don't know, dispute the charge of murder in the second degree? Won't that make things simpler? Aquila? Far be it from me to tell you how to do your job, but aren't you going to propose a mistrial for the murder 2 charge? Think about it. If we got the judge to agree to a mistrial, we'd be left with 2 charges instead of 3. But what did Chad say at the start of all this again? Before the end of the day, the defendants will be found guilty of at least one of the charges. He must have had a strong reason to believe that, and the fact that he suggested it alone makes me concerned. Okay, so what do we do? So we can either push for a mistrial or don't push. Let's see. If we get Tawny to dismiss the murder in the second degree, the remaining charges are simpler and might just result in a summary judgment. Tawny might just pronounce the aces as guilty on the spot. Clever trap, Chad. This one is rather troubling. Ms. Aquila? Yes, Your Honor. I would like to see the photograph again. The one you presented earlier. Of course. But why? You said this was taken by Marco? Yes, Your Honor. He really is a master of his craft. Their affection, all 5 of them, it looks so genuine. The court has made its decision. Counsel will be granted further time to investigate, and we will reconvene the day after tomorrow. Yeah! Woohoo! Your Honor, why? The defendant's motives are disputive, and the evidence remains inconclusive. Mr. Hawke? Yes? If direct evidence is not forthcoming, I can only suggest you are more creative with your sources. As you personally do not drive, it might be wise to follow Ms. Aquila's example and find an expert witness. Follow my example? Oh, if only this moment could last forever. As for the defense, while Ms. Aquila's arguments today were persuasive against the statements of these particular witnesses, it still has not changed the fact that the defendants were involved in a dangerous activity with the deceased. A reasonable person would consider them in some way responsible for her death. Ms. Aquila. Yes, Your Honor. Do not forget, in accordance with the 3-day statute, I will render a verdict at the end of the next trial day. Short of a significant change in the facts of this case, your clients stand in a very precarious position. I am sympathetic to your case, but do not test the limits of my sympathy. We shall reconvene the day after tomorrow. Court is adjourned. Alright, so we are at the end of the next day. And she's still having nightmares about that person. Nina, stay here, okay? What? But I'll be right back. Wait, don't! Hey, Nina. What? Wait, what time is it? Early evening. You said we should try to sleep in today, remember? Because we're going to be up at the Rostro Spire most of the night. That being said, I thought you'd be up around noon or something. Are you okay? I'm fine. You were talking in your sleep again. Yeah? Maybe you shouldn't listen. Maybe you're right. Get up, I'll get us coffee. Okay, one thing I gotta say about her character portrait when she is in her pajamas is that it kind of looks like just the head was slapped onto the shoulders a little bit. Because the skin tones are totally off from each other's. I was just thinking about that. We got lucky yesterday, right? Extremely. If Chad had better direct evidence, I think this would have been over before now. You think he's gonna find some? No. Well, that's a relief. Actually, it kind of worries me. I have no idea what Chad's next course of action will be. Still, I know it might seem hard to think about, but Do we need to consider the idea that Clara just had an accident? Perhaps. But put it this way, our job is to be there for our clients. That, unfortunately, leads us to a unique problem. How'd you figure? The Aces all have a loose alibi against murder. They were all in the race and were trying to win. But street racing is an illegal activity even if it's routinely ignored by the police. One of the charges against the Aces is manslaughter by endangerment. That means if Clara had an accident, their alibi against murder becomes evidence that they endangered Clara by street racing. Precisely. You're getting good at this. I'm pretty smart when I've had my 8 hours. That presents us with an unsolvable problem under our current frame of reference. So we need to flip our assumptions? More than that, I think we just need more information. We need to come up with another narrative that fits the facts. But we should make sure we don't lose sight of something important. What? It's a gut feeling, but I genuinely don't believe that any of the Aces killed Clara. And I also don't believe it was a simple accident. That means something else must have happened on the night, and we need to find out what it was. So where do we look? Maybe one of the racers knows more than they've told us. Maybe Trey, he saw Clara earlier in the day. Or one of the clubs, or maybe the Hearts. Maybe Ryoko? We'll see. Well, we won't find answers here. Let's head up to the Rostro Vista. Come see me by the door when you're ready to go. Okay, so looks like we're going to be headed back up to the mountains to do some more racing. Excuse me. Oh, I have been really tired lately. Hey, Nina. Looks like someone's headed this way. Was that Trey? Hard to tell with those darkened windows, but it certainly looked like his car. Where do you think he's going? I don't know. But I've got a bad feeling. They still have the same 4 people in line for Scrub's dog stand. Hey, Nina. Hi, Ren. Did you manage to examine that wheel we found a couple days ago? Oh, that? I had to pass that over to a friend. He's taking a look at it for us. But there's something much more important I have to tell you. What is it? What's wrong? Your prosecutor friend was just here. Prosecutor... You mean Chad? Yeah. I knew it. Knew what? Ren, on the way up here, we passed a car heading back towards Fledge City. Was Chad inside with Trey Gearson? Yep. That prosecutor came here by taxi and asked for Trey by name. They left not long ago. Great. Looks like Chad just got his expert witness, and I doubt we're going to get a chance to speak to Trey. What do you want to ask him? I don't know, something, everything. Think we should tell him? Yeah, I think so. Ren, we were up here late the night before last. Then the woman got back into the limo and drove off. Nina thought she knew... Let's keep that part between us for now. What's that? Nothing. What matters is that whoever she was meeting with Trey. You think that woman was the sponsor? Maybe. With Clara gone, I guess Trey is the de facto leader of the Spades. Ren, just who is the sponsor? We don't actually know. What? They weren't very forthcoming. Keisuke said it was because they have legitimate business interests, so didn't want it to be known, that they were consorting with illegal street racers. Makes sense. We have an email address, but it was to a temporary inbox. They told us that if we collectively said yes, then we'd get to find out more. Ooh, that is kind of the same circumstances as Marcus Steele was in when he suddenly started getting onto the dual circuit professionally. Mysterious person benefacted him a bunch of cards, and now we've got a mysterious sponsor who doesn't want to be identified attempting to benefact the racers a bunch of sponsorship money. Sounds fishy. Clara said exactly the same thing. She didn't like it one bit. It was like she was against the very concept of the idea. Was that the whole reason? Well, there were rumors that Clara knew something about the sponsor. Something that no one else on the mountain knows. Any idea what that was? Nope. But it was gossip. I've no idea if it's true. Who would know? There's only one person on the mountain who might know a bit more. Ryoko. Ren, we need to find out more about what could have happened on the night Clara died. In that case... Oh no. You're gonna need more face. More chutzpah. More flex. I get it! But still, surely those last few races were beginner's luck. I'll never beat someone like Ryoko on this car. I keep telling you, your car's not your problem. What you need is style. And you'll find that in... the heart of the drift. Got it. Ask around. I'm sure you'll find someone who will take your challenge. After all, you beat the diamonds. Good luck. Come grab me if you want some advice. So, looks like we race. Let's see who's up for it. So it looks like we can race against the hearts, well, the clubs, so let's ask. Hey, I just wanted to ask. Forget it, you're nowhere near metal enough to take up my time. Rude. What do you want, outsider? Are you the jack of clubs? Who wants to know? Nina Aquila, but I came here to race, not to talk. As if an outsider like you could figure out the secrets of my racing style.
Hold it.
What kind of secrets? This'll be fun. Let's go. Alright, so we've got one more race, and then I think what we're going to do is we're just going to end things off for the evening. What the? I was just going easy on you. Time to turn up the volume. Oh, snap. What's going on, Nina? I don't know. It's like she has some kind of secret way to beat me at every turn. Can you figure out what it is? I'll try. So predictable. You really thought you could figure out my tricks with that wreck of a car? There's gotta be some way to beat her. It must be some kind of... Gah, I can't figure it out. Well, how do you usually figure out when someone's got something to hide? How do I...
Hold it.
That's it! What is it? I can press her. We're not in court. So, who cares as long as it works? Nina has gazed into the heart of the drift and learned a special ability, press. Special abilities use a PP. You get 1 PP each time you draw in a clash, and you can choose to use them from the clash menu. Press allows Nina to go again if she loses a clash. Some opponents might not be so confident after Nina presses them, so give it a try.
Hold it. Hold it.
Alright, so now she's been able to turn this around. Looks like your confidence is cracking. I don't go down so easily. You so sure about that? So yeah, the Jack of Clubs is also gender non-conforming.
Hold it.
Alright, so we've got a victory on Nina's side. Okay, I admit it. You got yourself some style. Where'd you learn to drive like that? Law school. So why are you up here racing everyone? I'm trying to gain face. I'm representing the aces in court, and I need to know more about what Clara was doing on the night she died. When Clara died, I hadn't spoken to her in some time. But the Queen of Clubs, if I remember, he lives across the street from Clara's place. He? The Queen of Clubs? The ranks are ceremonial. They don't imply gender. Huh, so I was wrong. Time sage. Ceremonial. All the kings are guys right now, but even that hasn't always been the case. I get it. Maybe he knows something. Can't hurt to ask. Thanks. Good luck. Alright, so I'm going to save from here. And let's see who is streaming right now. Oh boy. Let's see.
Hey, have you had...
Well, it looks like Matsu Quinox is reading The Wind in the Willows, so let's go raid Matsu, and we will have a nice story to go to sleep to. Alright everyone, so we'll give Matsu Quinox a nice big objection when we come in, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. We'll be playing some we'll be playing some Pokemon Violet, and I hope you all have a good night, and I hope you're weekend gets off to a great start. This is Jewelry Jelly with Ashley here, and I'm signing off for the night. Have a good one.